see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Okay. Okay. So today our subject will be about information security audit. Still have like 2 more sessions remaining. And audit is related to the information security implementation. I mean, when you conduct an audit, you are definitely conduct an audit related to a standard. It's not like conducting an audit in general. So whenever we have to conduct an audit, it should be related to a specific compliance or standard. But it's done in a specific way that you need to be familiar with. So what is the purpose of conducting an audit? Is to make sure that all the controls are implemented. If an organization is, for example, holding an ISO 27001, and she will have an external audit coming, you need to conduct an internal audit to be able to validate. Could someone take care of the admission, please?
We already admit.
Yeah, thank you. So when we conduct an audit, we just are making sure that the controls are, the standard control are implemented and it's working effectively, and we are following the plan, do, check, act process as well. This is an example of an internal audit report. Okay. Now, let me show you how it looks like, because you're going to need to understand how the audit is going on and how do we collect the evidence and how this process is going. It's part of your responsibility as a GRC analyst, but you need to know how it's done in a proper way. So of course, as a security document, it needs to have a document control, so we don't need to explain about that. And then when you see inside the introduction, they have to mention you are conducting the audit based on what. So this audit is to make sure that we are complying with ISO 27001. Of course, this was the previous version, and information security regulation. And if any other standard you are following and you need to include it inside the audit, you can do that. So one audit could fulfill different standards, but they have to be related. I mean, the ones that we are referring to here, which is the ISR and NISA and ISR, all of them are information security audit. But some of them are international audit and some of them are government compliance. But all of them are within the same area. So it's okay to have one internal audit that fulfill or that verify controls in different standards. Okay. You don't have to conduct each one separately. If they are applicable, like in this case, 3 different controls in one audit, that will do it. Also keep in mind that audit is a mandatory requirement in the standard, in ISO standard and other standard. They are saying that you need to conduct the internal audit every year to make sure that all the controls are in place and your system is working in a proper way. Now, scrolling down here, you have the scope of the audit and how are you going to collect the evidence, how the evidence will be collected. Okay. This is the most important part that you need to be aware of as an auditor, okay, which is what is the audit finding. We have 3 different types of finding in audit. First one is the non-conformity or NC. And this is when we find that a specific control is not in place or it's not implemented in the right way. I mean, to simplify it, it could provide serious deviation from the standard. Okay, for example, a company who don't have an asset register. Okay, this is an NC because it's against anything inside the standard talking about identifying all our information asset in a list. Second guide. Okay. You still can see my screen. Let me know if the sharing stop in any time. Okay. Then we have so non-conformity is a serial deviation of the standard. Okay. Then we have an observation. Okay. An observation could be something that it's minor deviation of the standard. For example, you have an asset list. However, it doesn't have a document control. So you don't know who created the asset list or who approved the asset list, for example. Okay. Or you do have an asset register, but some field is not completed. For example, you don't have an owner or a custodian. It's an observation. Some auditor may consider it as a non-conformity, but it's an observation. Some will consider it's a minor problem. And then we have the scope of improvement, which is an area for improvement from the name. It's something optional, but sometimes the auditor may highlight on that this may improve the security of the organization. So those are the major three different kind of finding in any audit. Now there is one more, it's called the major non-conformity. And this is when you find a finding that is really critical. And you have the right, if you find this kind of finding, to stop the audit and not complete it, because it's something major. Okay. Usually the major will be in the in case one of the non-conformity was found, and next year when you conduct the internal audit, you find out that it has not been solved. So you can upgrade it to the major non-conformity. I'll show you some example while we are talking, but first I just want you to be clear about the different kind of audit. Second, I just want to highlight that finding get escalated in the sense of, if I conduct an audit this year and I find some non-conformity and some observation and some scope of improvement, and then I came next year to conduct the internal audit because it's an annual process, and I find some of the non-conformity was not closed. In this case, in this year report, I should not write it as a non-conformity. I should write it as major non-conformity. And any observation that was found this year, if it still will not be closed till next year, it will be escalated in my next report to a non-conformity. So the observation will next year become a non-conformity if it didn't get solved. While the scope of improvement, no, because this was like something, a guidelines. So you don't upgrade or you don't escalate that. Okay. So let's scroll down, and this is how you will collect sample or evidence, and let's see how the audit report look like. First thing, when we do an audit for any organization, we usually first, and it's not actually, you may find that in some report and some auditor will not do it this way, but I prefer to do it this way, that you don't start highlighting on the negative point of the organization. No, you start by identifying what are the positive points. So you start by identifying what is the positive aspect or finding. This will encourage the department or the company or whoever you are auditing to maintain whatever is good and fix whatever have a problem. So as you can see, for example, here you find out that there is a high level of commitment from of management for implementing information security. Okay, this could be seen by management send an email to their employee to attend awareness, to report any incident, to follow compliance. You may get many evidence showing that the management push their employee to follow the policy. Now, it's not enough to write down the finding or the point that you find a positive point. You have to write down here, this comply with which standard? And since I told you earlier that we are auditing according to ISO and NISA and ISR, you have to write down in each one of those, what is the control that requested to have this specific point. So it's not enough that you write what you find good in the organization. You have to map it with the standard. This is aligned with this specific control in ISO and aligned with this specific control in NISA and aligned with this specific control in ISR. You have to do it this way. But I strongly suggest to highlight on the positive point of any organization. Okay. Now, scrolling down, here we start the finding. Okay. Now, the first finding here, what is the type of finding? Is a non-conformity. What do we mean by non-conformity or NC? Major deviation of the standard.
Yeah.
Major.
Okay, it's something major. Okay. Now, we need to agree that there is some kind of evaluation from the auditor, because some auditor may find it non-conformity, some auditor may find observation, but it's always better to take the highest one. If you are confused, should I consider that a non-conformity or an observation? It's much safer to take the non-conformity. Okay. Now, this is the date of the finding, and this is the finding detail. Okay. What is the detail of the finding? That the information asset register. Okay, let me just minimize that. Last update was in 2014. Now, the information asset register is the inventory that include all the asset. Okay, and this audit was conducted in 2016. Now, first of all, how the auditor will know the last update of this document from the document control. That's why I tell you the document control is very, very critical for us. It shows us when it was last updated, who approved it, who reviewed. But when I saw, for example, that it was last updated in 2014, and we are conducting the audit in 2016, which means this update was since 2 years, it's something major, because it means that all the information asset that was added to this organization the last 2 years was not logged in this asset register. So they may have a new server that no one knowing about it, or new laptops, or new files. Okay. Now, when you write the finding, it's not enough to write the finding. You have to write the impact, what I just explained. That this means that the asset register may not be updated. Some of the critical asset may be missed from the asset register. Okay. Now, this could be a mistake. I mean, maybe.
I got a question,
yeah,
please.
Yeah, sure.
Please, what do you mean by document control?
Okay. Any document in the information security management system should have something called a document control, which is this part, is the first page of any document. You have to write down what is the document name, what is the classification of document, who created this document, when, who reviews the document, who approves the document. And whenever you make any change in the document, you have to update the document control. So it's like a reference, okay? And it's from there where the auditor will check when's the last time you update the document, because every time you update the document, you will write down that me, Muhammad Atif, updated the document on the 14th of August or of September, and the management approved it. So the document control is something that exists in any of our documents, an asset register, a risk register, a policy. It shows the detail of the document, because Think about it. You don't need to go and read the full document to know this document is about what. And how can you figure out who created? And how can you figure out who approved it? You got my point?
Yes, I got your point. So say, for example, between 2014 and 2014 when the document was last updated and 2016 when the audit was being performed, there haven't been any new information assets in the company.
They didn't. Maybe they have new information asset, but they didn't update the asset register. The inventory, the Excel sheet that include all the assets. The last update I saw in the document control was 2014. Okay, which means that it could be due to one of two reasons. Maybe the document is updated, but the guy who's managing the document forget to update the document control. Or maybe they are really not updating this document. So whatever assets they are getting, they are using it, but they don't update the inventory. Okay. I usually take the worst case scenario because it's much safer to consider the worst case instead of considering that, yeah, maybe he forgot to update and so on. So I write the finding and I should write the impact, what this may lead to. Okay. And when you do that, you have also to identify this is related to which domain, asset management. Of course, in the new ISO, you have to identify that with the current domain, which in the new ISO, it's related to organizational control. And here you have to write down all the controls that has been breached from different standards according to this finding. Are you following, guys? So if this control was requested from ISO, and because they didn't update, I have to write down that in ISO standards, this control requested to update the information asset register. However, it was not done. And in the NISA standard, the same. And in this standard, the same. So when you write the finding, it's not enough just to write what did you find. You have to write your reference, you have to write the impact, you have to write what is the affected area. This is the most important part of the audit. I'll share with you a template of all the audit common finding and related template, but you have to understand the logic behind what we are doing. This part is my finding, and it has to be done this way. You have to write the date of finding and all the controls that was breached by this finding, the finding detail, and the affected area. The part here that is written in red, this need to be filled by the company itself or by the department itself. Okay. First of all, it's not enough to tell me that we will solve the problem. This will not fix it. They have to identify, or they have to write in the report, because once you create the report, you will hand it to the auditee, the people you have been audited. It could be a department or a company. They have to write down the root cause, why they are not updating the asset register. Because if you didn't identify the root cause and they solve the problem, it will get repeated again. You need to understand what is the reason behind that. It could be lack of awareness. It could be that no one is reviewing the document. It could be that some of the people don't know that there is an asset register. They maybe add a new department in this company and they don't have an asset register. Whatever the reason, they have to identify what is the root cause of that. Because once you identify the root cause and they work on it, it will not be showing again. And then they have to identify the corrective action. And usually the corrective action will be the easiest part because if the asset register is not updated, then they need to update it, right? So it's very clear, but it has to be filled by them because it's a commitment. The department or the company, they will say, we updated the document. And then they have to fill the preventive action. Okay, we solve this problem. How can we make sure that this problem will not show again in the audit report? All those need to be filled by the department. They also need to provide you with a closure date. It's not enough to tell you that we will take care of that, we will solve it. They have to say when it will be solved. Because next year, when we conduct an audit, the first thing we used to do, we ask them, show me the previous year audit first. Whenever I go to audit an organization, even if it's a new organization, I will ask them, show me your previous audit report. And before starting a new audit, I have to make sure that whatever was fine before, it was closed. So the organization they have to write down the closure date, because some of the audit finding may take time. Sometimes, for example, they need to close the audit by purchasing a software and they don't have a budget. And they will say, okay, this budget year is completely consumed. Maybe next year we will have a budget for that. Fine. Just give me a date that I will track and make sure when a date is come, I will close it. And show me evidence. Show me that the management approved to purchase this product from next year budget. Okay? So you have to give them the impression that you are taking that serious. And this is not to be filled randomly, because whatever going to be written here, I'll be judging you, and I will track and make sure that whatever need to be closed will be closed on time. Are you following, guys?
Dr. Atif,
Yes, tell me, Vahid.
question.
Yeah.
How detailed it should be this explanation for every of these fields?
I mean,
Or
it
just
will not involve a lot of details, right? I mean, for example, let's take this finding. They will not write much about that. If they're going to write the root cause about that, most probably it will be lack of awareness. You know, people don't know how to update this sheet, or they don't have a sheet, or they do have a sheet, but they don't know who is responsible for that. So what other details they may write about something like that. So most of the time, those fields will be, you know, just to justify what is the problem, why this problem happened, and to write down what is the corrective action and what is the preventive action. You have a valid point. Sometimes the preventive action may have a lot of details, that we will do this and we will do that and so on and so forth. Then they will attach a plan with the document. They will tell you that we will have a full preventive plan, and the plan is attached with the report. So the only part where it may have a lot of details will be the preventive. And it's acceptable to reply back with a full plan. Got it?
What if audit is internal? Does it make any difference from the external one?
Internal like external. You do it very seriously. Even if you are internal audit, it has to be done. Because the external audit, when he will come, he will check those documents. He will tell you, show me your internal audit, to make sure someone is validating what you are doing. So external or internal, it should be done the same way. Clear? So you are not just responsible for conducting the audit, you are also responsible for following up with the closure. Okay. And we have a common terminology in the audit. You know, when you send the audit report to the department, the replies that you will get for them, which is going to be the same report, but this section part will be filled by the auditee. This is called CAPA report. CAPA report stands for corrective action, preventive action. You have to be familiar with the terminology. What is the CAPA report? I didn't get the CAPA report. So you need to understand the CAPA report is the response you are getting from the department, which is the same report, but they have to fill whatever is missing here.
Dr. Atif, you were mentioning for every of this field, we have to, if there is something to have to be done, so we have to bring, or auditor has to bring the external document or planning. So what document or planning we are talking about here? I mean, a specific document we have to fill up for corresponding to every single of these fields that should be implemented in the company, or there is something that somebody else has to do it, if you understand what I mean.
No, could you elaborate more, please?
If you go back to that part with the
Plan.
yeah with the no, I think you have to go a bit upper. If you scroll up, please.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, here. So you said, if I understood you correctly, every each of these, if have to be done properly. So for sure, auditors has to bring the plan, detailed plan for each of these fields, right? As
Yeah.
you
No,
mentioned.
not for each
Not
field.
the audit.
Only for the preventive part or even the corrective part. I mean, it depends about the finding. Maybe the finding can be solved the right way. Like the one I'm showing you right now, this doesn't need a plan. You know, the document just need to be updated. So they don't need to provide me with a plan. The plan will be provided if they need to purchase a product, a software, you know, something major need to be done to be able to close this product. In this case, I'll be requesting a plan because
Yeah, but
you know, I
who
need
is
some kind of commitment from their side.
I mean, who is providing these plan for every
The
of these?
department
Exactly.
who has
The
a
department.
problem.
Exactly. The one who got the problem, if I'm auditing a department, they will be the one who providing the plan. Okay. And one more time, it depends about the findings. The finding need a plan. I mean, I cannot tell them that your document is not updated, and then they will provide me a plan that they will update it after 6 months. It doesn't make sense. It depends about the severity of the finding and what need to be taken to be able to close this finding. You got my point?
Thank you. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I have a quick question. Is it
Yeah,
the
please.
GRC analyst doing the audit?
Of course, it's inside job description.
Oh, okay.
Because in the GRC, as you saw, we are making sure that the organization is implementing the standard and compliance.
Okay.
How can you make sure? By auditing. So you explain to them what need to be done, and then you audit to make sure that the control has been implemented right.
Okay.
So inside job description, this was found. Okay.
Okay.
Let's scroll down. Second finding is also a non-conformity. Okay. Now the finding is, okay, that logging and auditing of the administrator activity is not being done. What do they mean by that? In ISO, we have a very important section called the ISO, logging management. Okay, and the point here that any activity that will be done on any of the systems or computer should be logged. So if I need to know yesterday who logged into the system and what he did on any computer or any server, I should be able to find that. And specifically people who got permission, because they can log in, copy file, delete file. So when I checked the log, I find that the some of the administrator logs was not captured. And how did I knew that? I asked the administrator to log in using a wrong password 2 or 3 times. And then I open on the server, I open the services. Okay. And on the service, sorry, not the services, event viewer, sorry. And you can do that. Go to event viewer, just click on start and type event. Okay. And this is the event of this computer. It shows all the events that happen on this computer. If you click on Windows event and you click on security, you can see all the security events that happen to this computer. Security event mean who tried to log in successfully, who tried to log in unsuccessfully. This is important for us, right? Besides, it's a compliance requirement. So I asked the administrator to log in a couple of times the wrong password. And then I went to the event viewer on the server and I start checking, okay, this time, is the activity for someone trying to log in has been captured or not? And I didn't find anything related to this event, which means that the logging are not getting captured. Okay. What is the problem of missing a control like that?
If you have an authorized person trying to log into your system, then you might not be able to. I don't know if you are trying to analyze who tried to log into that system. You might not be able
Exactly. This is
find
what we call lack of accountability, right? I will not be able to know whoever did something wrong because I don't have any. It's like you don't have a surveillance camera cam in your organization, and something, something gets stolen or something. Can you know who did it? Logs, it's like a surveillance cam. It captures everything that happened on the system. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I guess
this
that's
is yeah,
I think in ISO there's a requirement of login.
exactly. It's part of the access control. So sorry guys.
Hello, doctor. Hello, doctor. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. Hi. When you're conducting an audit, who defines the scope of the audit?
I am the one who defined it. As a GRC analyst, I will say that the scope of this audit is for this specific standard. I show you that at the beginning. You joined late?
Okay, no, I didn't join at the beginning.
Okay, that's fine. So in this report, let me show it to you. At the beginning, you should see that this is the purpose of the audit. This is the scope. We are conducting an audit to comply with the ISO 27001, NISA, ISR, and so on. So it should be identified at the beginning that we are auditing which standard, and you can include more than one standard in the same audit if they got similar controls, Just please watch
Okay,
the
thank
video, so you're welcome. So here is the same concept. You have to identify what is the impact first, and then you have to identify what are the breach control in different standards. If this is related, if we are conducting audit for those three standards, so have to say that this control from the ISO has been breached, this control from NISA, this control from ISR, and so on. And one more time, what need to be filled here in this part? I want to hear from you guys. Once I create this audit, what should be the next step? I will send it for the auditee. Now this is only for the reference or something need to be done?
Follow up.
Not just a follow-up or not. I didn't get even a reply to this audit, right? They have to reply back to me with what?
They need to fill whatever it is you've asked them to do.
Exactly, which is what? What is the major response I need to get from them?
CAPA? Is it the
I mean,
CAPA?
is it only to solve the problem? That's why I'm conducting the audit? Guys, I just mentioned that. We need to have
CAPA?
three different root cause, corrective action, preventive action.
Oh yeah, CAPA.
CAPA, thank you so much. I like that. I want you to start using those terminology because this make a big difference when you speak like that in an interview.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
shouting CAPA, but you didn't hear
CAPA.
me.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. Scrolling down, let's take one more. Finding 3. Also non-conformity. And here is the finding, and let me know your feedback about it. Now, those people, they do have a server, but this server, it's a Mac server. It's not a normal Windows server. It's a Mac server. Okay. And in this part, actually, I really want to know your feedback about it. And this Mac server is very critical for their business. I mean, they are doing something very critical in this organization using this Mac server. So it's very, very important. The only problem is that this Mac server has one admin account. You cannot create 3 different accounts for 3 different users with admin permissions. They only have one account, it's called admin. And because 3 people are using the server, I have to give them, the 3 of them, the same account to be able to do to perform their activity. So 3 people, they are using the exact same account. Their job functionality request all of them to have admin. And since the application got some kind of limited technology, so you can only share the same account with the 3 people. Okay. My question is, what is the problem behind that? What could go wrong because of that?
Non-repudiation, or you can't accountability and all of that.
Excellent. Exactly. If someone did something wrong from those 3 people, can you know who did it? They are all logged in using same account, admin account. So can you know who did that? You don't have any kind of accountability, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, here is another question that I want to know what is your feedback about. When I spoke with them, they said, okay, you are right, completely right. The only problem is we don't have, what can I say? We don't have any other option. This is a very critical server. It's related to something sensitive in their organization. And those people need to work. And we cannot stop the server. It will affect our business. So we don't have any other option. And when they spoke with the company who created the program, they said, this is how the program works. Yeah. So when I asked them to reply back here, give me the corrective action, preventive action, they show me an email coming from the company saying that this application can only work with one admin account. Okay. So what should I request from them in this case? Should I keep this finding open? Should I tell them, okay, stop using this application or this server? Because if they stop using it, it will affect their business to the very critical services on this application.
Risk acceptance.
Thank you so much. So in this case, okay, the root cause will be due to a limitation of the technology. They cannot provide admin. The corrective action will be to accept the risk, and they have to provide a risk acceptance. And the preventive action will be monitoring. That's it. We cannot do anything about it. But what they will provide from their side will be a risk acceptance from their management that they know about the risk and they are dealing or they are willing to accept it, because this is a critical function for their organization. Okay. So you're going to need to relate things to each other. You're going to need to, relate the risk and the audit and the control to be implemented and so on. What I will share with you once we finish this course, I will share with you the common finding according to each domain. Because when we conduct audit for business and technical department. So you may need a library of finding. Maybe you are new to that. Of course, the finding is usually related to the controls. When you read the standard, you will get to know what is the control requested and how to check for a finding, or what should be the evidence showing that this fulfills the control. So you have to read the standard very well before you conduct an audit to know exactly what you're going to be looking for and what will be the evidence and how can you validate the evidence. Okay. So this is briefly about the internal audit today. We still have a discussion about it. As I told you, the audit, it's a annual process in the sense of It has to be done every year. But it's not done randomly. Like, this year I will say, okay, let me do the audit on August, and next year let me do the audit on September. It has to be documented. You need to have a document we usually call internal audit plan. And this internal audit plan, you will write down everything about the audit. It's like a policy saying that we will conduct an audit every year to fulfill those specific standards. And this audit will be on this every year on between June to July. And you put the list of all the departments, and you put what will be requested during the audit and what you're going to be audited. So it's not a surprise. Everyone inside the organization need to know when they will be audited. And this should be done every year. So it's not kept as a secret. You don't go randomly to each department and ask them for evidence. They need to know when you're going to come, what you will be asking for, what evidence you will, or what domains you will audit. So they should be ready. Okay. So audit, it's a very, very organized process, and it need to be planned, and you need to have an official document. It's called the information security audit. It has an audit document control, and everyone is following the internal audit plan. Clear?
Yes, I have a question, please. The
Sure.
document you talked about just now, the evidence to show compliance of those controls, or the documents you're going to be requiring from those departments you are auditing. The list you're talking about, I think that's going to be a good resource for us to have if we've never done this before, so we can know what we're going to be looking at when we are performing an audit.
Definitely, definitely. I will give you some sample of audit similar to this one, and a library that I used when I started, a library of all the audit finding, the common one. This will be given by the end of this program. We still have like 2 sessions remaining, but I think the GRC analyst program is just a start. Whatever we covered here, you need to take point by point and go through it and raise question and try to figure out how it's done and request resources. And I don't mind, after closing this program, to do a couple of session more Q&A, because we spend around maybe 45 minutes or 1 hour per week. Okay, we are just highlighting about what is the GRC analyst job all about. But still, you're going to need to do some effort from your side. So every topic that we cover, starting from the compliance, starting from the audit, from the risk, from the KPIs, each one of those, I'm expecting that you will dive deep into, raise questions, start thinking, what should I look for, how it should look like. And if you do that, guys, I don't mind giving you 2 additional sessions for Q&A to be much more interactive. And at least you will have a better understanding about the full position responsibility. So I'll share with you all the resources, but I hope you don't just take files and keep them on your computers and that's it. You got my point? I just want you to really end up from this program writing something in your CV. I learned that, and learning that will not be from one hour session we do together.
When we listen, it appears to be easy when you follow, but
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you well.
Okay, sir. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is that yes, when we teach, we seem to get to understand, but then if we can see get questions that like projects that can help us to actually know that we really understand, that we can put pen on paper. But by the time we listen to it, it appears simple and we follow. It appears, but then if we can get real life example questions, so that when we do it, we know where we are lacking in understanding.
I got your point.
Did you get that, sir?
Yeah, I did. And as I promised you, we are working, let me show it to you, on a platform for GRC projects. That's it. You go there and you start practicing real projects. Okay. And I'll give you access. It's still on process. We didn't complete all the project yet. But I think this will be what you are looking for. You need something realistic to practice on it. And when you practice on it, you need someone to evaluate your work. Okay. So it's going to be on the LMS soon. I'm hoping, before end of this month, hopefully. But sorry, it's GRC. Yeah. So as you can see, we are, GRC. This will include projects, activity. It will be very, very useful, and it will really, give you a chance to practice on real projects. We include videos, we include project, but still it's not ready yet. But once it's ready, we will give you access, and you will have a place where you can practice. But meanwhile, as I told you, start to utilize what you have. Okay? For example, try to go to the lectures, read the standard very well, try to understand, each control, what does it mean, how it should be implemented. But eventually I will give you guys access to that, and you will have a chance to practice it.
Thank you, sir.
Most welcome. Okay,
Prof,
guys.
Prof, this is Vic here.
Please,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I've been quiet since, I'm not feeling too
I
well.
noticed that. I hope you are okay.
I'm not feeling too well. I'm not
I'm
feeling
sorry
too
about
well.
that.
Yeah, that's
Get
just
well
fine.
soon.
Yeah, thanks. I just want to say, because I'm just going to look at the video probably at my time, and probably look at the document as well at my own time, probably before next week. So that I will capture probably capture everything, So,
Excellent.
but the document is going to be on the fold on the OneDrive, right?
No, the document, as I mentioned last time, it's inside the ISMS document in the on our platform. Go to school.infosec4tc.com and search for ISMS document. You should find all the documentation there.
Okay,
Everything
because
that I use
because during the week I tried to find the one for the lead implementer. I couldn't.
Which lead implementer?
For tomorrow course.
That's why I always say that let's not confuse today and tomorrow.
No, yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
But Victor, I
giving an
did send
example,
for people who will attend ISO. Please check your email today. I sent a
Yeah, I
link.
received one.
No, I
Yeah,
received
did.
that. Oh, I received that. I
And
received
inside this link, you should find videos, and you should find a folder called resources.
Yeah.
And inside resources, you should find all the documentations that you requested.
Oh, for all the courses?
Yeah, for the ISO courses.
Okay.
I didn't receive any. Hello, I didn't receive any mail for that. My name is
enrolled
Samuel.
in the ISO 27001? Because I have a list for all the people who are enrolled, so I send it accordingly. So are you enrolled in the ISO 27001 lead implementer?
I think I told you then. You said since I'm a platinum member, I indicated interest in it then.
No, as a platinum member, you have the right to attend any live workshop for free, right? However, but we usually announce, we said, okay, guys, for platinum, we have an ISO implementer on Sunday. Whoever will enroll, we take their name to send them the resources. We don't send the email for everyone. You got my point? So if you are enrolled in the ISO, we give you access to all the resources to be used during the training. Okay. If you want to get access, because it doesn't seem, I did already send an email for all the people who are attending with us ISO, which is on Sunday. However, if you need access to it, just send me an email. I'll add you, or I'll give you access to it, even if you don't want to attend. But we don't send randomly for all our platinum.
Okay. I will do that immediately after this.
Sure, no
class.
Okay.
Thank you very
Doctor, a
much.
question. How will know will InfoSec will be having new courses or a new lecture?
We always send to platinum member. Tell them, guys, we will have for example, a red team workshop on this date, or blue team. So we send all our platinum, and whoever want to attend, he will reply back. Then we take his name to send him the invitation and give him access to the resources.
Okay.
So we do that whenever we have something new for our platinum member. We send them an announcement. And if you don't missed it because you are not free, it's okay. I mean, we do that frequently. And since you are a platinum, you'll get another chance to attend the same workshop later on. So we do that randomly. Just follow our emails, and sometimes it go to the spam. Just make sure you are following our email.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
One more question, Prof, before you go.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
I received the AI this thing that is due to start. Well, like, do you think being like a security person, do we really need to do the AI?
Not really. I mean, this was for people who want to take the AI as a career. Actually, we will soon have a workshop for cybersecurity using AI. And I will show you how we are implementing AI in our business.
Yeah, I think that would be more better. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So this actually, we did it before and it was very, very successful. And most probably we will repeat it again in October. Inshallah.
Sir, the email, just want to follow up on what to get it right about what Victor said. I got an email about the AI registration, maybe monthly that something. So I didn't get is it that it's related to what we are doing? Is it something we have to?
No. It's a different services for different people.
Okay.
People who want to, take the AI as a career. And this is not a training, it's labs. But anyway, as I told you, we will create some AI's training for cybersecurity soon, and I will let you know all about it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I have two questions before you go, please.
Yes.
This bothers me because I'm currently in this situation. So I joined a company and they're currently contracting their information technology services to a vendor. It's like a provincial agreement. And there is no documentation to show the services that these people are providing in terms of technological services. For example, I know that they provide vulnerability management. I know they provide web filtering. I know they provide all these services, but there is no documentation. So there is no way for me to checkmate what they are doing because I don't have documentation. So right now I'm trying to come up with a documentation just like what we're doing now. Was gap assessment to find out the documentation you're meant to provide for me to be able to know the services you're providing. So that's why when you mentioned that document control list, I was so excited about it because I guess it's going to help me a lot to be able to know for what I'm going to be asking these people to provide for me based on what they are providing for me.
Excellent. Actually, you are following the right approach. But let me tell you, when it comes to working with a vendor, there is a lot of requirement and you have to read the standard. You have to conduct a risk assessment to this vendor before dealing with it. You have to make sure it comply with all the standards that you are following. They have to sign non-disclosure agreement. So doing the gap assessment for this vendor is important. However, you have to be aware of all the requirement when it comes to dealing with third party, because 51% of data leakage happen from vendors and third party. So it's a very critical subject right now.
That's correct.
And I believe last session we're going to talk about that in depth.
Awesome. Thank you. Then where are you going to be sending that document to? Is it going to be the ISMS documentation or the OneDrive?
Yes.
So I know what I'm going to be looking at.
It's inside the ISMS documentation. However, if you need specific documents that's not there, and I have it, I'll be more than happy to share it with you. So anyone in his business, if he's facing a challenge, he wants to know how it's done, he need an additional resources, just drop me a message. Okay, we don't keep this workshop as something theoretical or academic. We keep it more to fine tune your skills and enhance your skills. So even after closing this program, if any one of you guys need any additional resources or guidance or things how it should be done, I'll be more than happy to help.
What is the best way to reach you, sir? Because I tried WhatsApp and email, and it took a while for me
No,
to
WhatsApp,
get
forget about it. WhatsApp, it's my private number, so usually I don't share it. And the WhatsApp, we have a support team. The only problem is that due to the large amount of message, it just take me some time. You know, so
Yeah.
sometimes I reply them within 2-3 days on the email. But the email is the best way to reach me, and usually reply back to all my email. But just, you know, bear with me, because sometimes whenever we have more than one workshop, the request is too high. So it's just taking me a couple of days to reply back. But WhatsApp
Yeah,
for support
Prof,
is available, and they will
Prof.
provide you with support as soon as possible. You can contact them. And if
Yeah,
any
Prof.
delay, just let me know. I'll make sure everything gets solved right away.
Prof, I was going to say, just my suggestion, probably if probably create a group or something like if regarding any issues, rather so that people can attend to that, to any issues on time, rather than waiting for too long. It's just a suggestion.
Yeah, but I have a concern regarding creating a normal WhatsApp group, because people will have to share their number, and this is not really the best approach. Besides, due to the large amount of group we start getting involved in, sometimes we don't follow up with group.
Okay.
What we can do, I have a Telegram group. It doesn't breach any privacy, and we can use that for you guys, to share experience, or if someone needs help and someone can provide the help. I can do something like that for you guys, and I can make it ready before next week, and it will be an additional support channel.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, definitely, no problem.
That'll be fine, so that
Sure. And
if we
make sure
have
to create it before
some
next time.
challenges.
Yeah, at least you'll be communicating with each other, because definitely some of you may face a problem and some of you have got some kind of experience. I'll be there, not that active, but I'll be available also. If I can support, I'll support.
And the other good thing is that whatever documentation is shared there, even if you don't need it now, maybe you get a job and you need that document, that kind of template, you can always go back there to pull it off.
Agree. Okay, guys. It was great talking to you, and I wish you all the best, and we will meet next week. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
you.
For your time, sir.
Thank
Good
you.
night, everyone. Bye.
I'm sending you a message now, Prof. I'm sending you an
Sure.
email. I'm just going to remind you of the